Good morning. You all get this started? You all here in the back? Yes? Let's see here. Oops. There we go. Just move it a little closer. Great. Good morning. Welcome to the 29th Annual American Art Conference. I'm Greg Rohan. I'm the president of Heritage Auctions, and it is a pleasure to see all of you here this morning and to welcome you. On behalf of Aviva Lehman, our Senior Vice President and Director of American Art, we are honored to host this conference once again. This is our second year hosting this conference here in our Park Avenue Gallery, and we are delighted to do it, and we are so glad that you are all here. For those of you who are not familiar with Heritage, just a little bit about us. We are the largest auction house founded in America. We're the third largest auction house worldwide. We have about more than 800 staff members in 15 offices around the world, and we have more than 120 specialists dealing in 50 different categories. Last year, we sold just about $2 billion. Our first auction was in 1976. We started in numismatics, and then we have grown and added categories over the time and now have 50 categories. American art is one that is near and dear to my heart. My wife and I hang American paintings because we really like them here in our apartment in New York and in our home in Dallas, where Heritage's headquarters is. So this conference, this category, has a special meaning to me and to my partners. It's near and dear to our heart, and we appreciate the great work that Aviva and her team has done to elevate and bring American art to be one of the most important categories at Heritage. Looking around the gallery today, I hope you all had a chance to look at these fabulous pictures of the Rockwell, Ernie Barnes, just to mention a few. I hope you can see that we value American art very significantly. Matter of fact, we are the only major auction house, the only one that has American art as a separate category. This passionate support of the vitality of American art is the perfect segue to introduce Lisa Koenigsberg, who is the president of the Initiative of Arts and Culture. I was delighted to see Lisa again here this morning, and I think it's just phenomenal what she does to promote American art, not just right now, but throughout the entire year. She has a Herculean job, and she does it extraordinarily well. Lisa, thank you for your leadership in bringing together the top thinkers in this category to explore the dynamic topics in American art. The topic this year, crafting the dream. Lisa Koenigsberg.
Good morning, everybody. So, this conference marks its 29th year this year, which for us is, I guess, on the one hand, oh my gosh, look at the history, but on the other hand, every year is the first year. Every year we have to recommit, and we do. Now, the first thing that I have to say is thank you. Now, I am a native New Yorker, and for me, this is my hood. So I have had a legal address on 57th Street for actually all my life. So strolling up 57th Street to come home to Heritage, which, as has been noted, is the auction house to have American art as a category. And imagine my delight about 2.5 years ago at discovering that my soulmate and fellow zealot, Aviva Lehman, was here. And what did we do? We hatched a plan that was blessed by any number of people to try to have the American Art Conference, which Aviva had been to in its very early years, um, to bring that to Heritage. And here we are, thanks to Roberta Kramer, Greg, the entire team of people. And I was using that because there are so many angels involved in this and in making it what it has become that I do not want to forget anyone. I also want to express sincere thanks to the other sponsors that we have. First and foremost is the O'Brien Art Foundation. And Marty O'Brien, who is here with us, has been part of the community of this conference for many years. But it is his belief, not simply in us, for which we're deeply grateful, but in the field of American art, in what American art has to tell us from the beginning to the present, from edge to edge of this country, and from media to media. That is the spark that is at the heart of this endeavor. And we are so grateful to Marty for what he is doing, generally speaking, for the field. And we were deeply touched to find that the write-up, most recent write-up for the conference, was published in the same issue of American Fine Art, as was a wonderful piece on the foundation. So I encourage all of you to read it, and in your heritage tote bags, which I encourage you to sling over your shoulder with vigor, you will find a copy of American Fine Art that features all of that. Now, additionally, the Bennett Prize. So Elaine Malati Schmidt and Stephen Bennett are passionate champions of figuration in art by women artists, with a particular commitment to, if you will, the art of our time, although their collection spans the entire spectrum. They have an Artemisia, if you will. We are so grateful to them, and also really appreciate the courage that it takes to champion something that some may see as retro, but that actually is a vehicle for modern expression as much as is the abstract. Jim Dickey, whom I've been blessed to know for, gosh, almost the entire duration of this conference. He is an extraordinary man, a collector, a painter, a frame advocate, which you'll hear more about, and also he and Crown Equipment have been supporters of the conference, for which we're grateful. Dee Dee Wigmore, Fine Art. I encourage you to get to know Dee Dee if you have not, and her colleague Emily Lenz. I never come away from a conversation with Dee Dee in which I'm not transformed and thinking more broadly. She has a gallery on West 57th, pardon me, in the Carnegie Tower, and she is always probing what, say, 25 years ago, we might have thought of as an edge. She is bringing it to the center, and she has a questioning mind that embraces beyond standard media, which is something we are passionate about, but we are, in effect, the echo of what we see more broadly. She's fantastic. Ken Woodcock, who is a steadfast supporter of American art, very committed to PAFA, and we're grateful to him. Gil and Lagodich, and I remember the first time I had contact with Tracy Gill, which was before I had met Simeon and Tracy together in person. We had several phone calls and arrived, I was at that point at NYU, a beautiful package of information all about the American frame and their commitment to it. And so it's a thrill, really, to be here and see Tracy and know that you all will have the benefit of hearing from her. And I'm not going to be the buzzkill. And Collis Art. Collis Art is Fred Hill and his daughter, Daisy Hill Sanders. And again, Fred has been with this conference since the beginning, which is 1996. And we are so grateful for that steadfast support because he too believes in American art. And at the heart of it, that's what it's about. It's not telling you what is American art, it's saying, here is this realm, explore. You come to your own conclusions, but probe deeply, probe widely, think creatively. And finally, we want to thank American Fine Art and the magazine Antiques for their media sponsorship. It really is incredibly meaningful. And now I'm sidestepping because one of the things I want to tell you is that something like this does not happen without a team of people who are unbelievably committed. And in addition to our wonderful colleagues at Heritage, I want to call out people in initiatives in art and culture. Erin Welsh, who has worked with me now for over 10 years and who is an amazing person and gives to initiatives in art beyond measure. And our colleague, David Mills, who I first met on the other side of the pond, but his acuity and inquiring mind really push us to go even farther. And we're so thrilled that he is part of the team. And finally, in what I hope is the ultimate feminist moment, I want to say thank you to my husband, David Becker. He lives with this, and without his really patience and commitment, this would not be. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you. Now, my job, hopefully, is to inspire you, but at the same time, it is also to, one, be a bit of a school marm with regard to time and also with regard to information. So what I'd like to do very briefly is call your attention to what is in your packets. On the right side is bibliography, précis. It's organized all in order of presentation, so you can take notes and start thinking if you wish. And also a conference brochure. On the left side, there is information from the International Hildreth Mayer Association. You will hear about Hildreth Mayer, incredibly important. And there is a opportunity for a self-guided tour because we are in Hildreth country. You can go to St. Bart's, which is just 4 blocks away. Anyone's up for a stroll, I'll go. And it's amazing. Temple Emmanuel, the new Printemps store. Hildreth is everywhere, and we need to start seeing her. There is also something in here for the Julian Levy catalog raisonné. And this I want to call your attention to. It is a really important work. I am blessed to have a copy of it, and it is 4 volumes following an introduction. Substantial work on Julian Levy is literally something on every exhibition that he and the gallery did. The scholarship and detail in there is fantastic. And the members of the conference, attendees, whatever we should call ourselves, are being offered a 50% discount on this work. There's a table back there that has a copy. Marie de Philippe Antonio, who is our first speaker, it was one of the co-authors. And I encourage you to have a look at that because it is chock full. It's just amazing. And we're so thrilled that she's making, and the Julian Levy Foundation is making such an extraordinary offer to everybody here. Following that is information on something a publication called Permanent Attractions, Man Ray, and Chess, and that is Larry List's publication. It is forthcoming, and I will tell you, last year when Larry spoke about Man Ray and chess and what chess means, hinting at what chess means, it blew my mind. So I encourage you to have a look at that. Behind that is something about Stephen Hannock, who will close the conference. Stephen is a phenomenal painter. He is about to have a major show at MoCA, Mass MoCA, in June. And there is another monograph about his work forthcoming. The first one was Luminosity, and that is on the table back there. And the one that's coming is called Moving Water, Fleeting Light. There's information on the Bennett Prize, and then also information on the show at Wigmore that has just opened called Soil and Spirit. And there's one last thing, and I'm sure you'll hear this from me like a lot of last things, but one thing I do want to speak about, and that is a project called Artifacts Movie. And it is an initiative that is that of Stephen Watson, who is the author of, among other publications, Strange Bedfellows, which is a wonderful look at the avant-gardes, plural, in the 20s. But Artifacts Movie is a collection of 30 years of interviews with people who are in various aspects of the avant-garde. So that may be performance art, Andy Warhol, that whole sphere, Merce Cunningham, John Cage, queer art. Beatrice Wood, last year, he spoke in the conference. And this living documentation, some of it collected by the Archives of American Art, which we all know as an important repository for material about American art. But Stephen has a particular vision. This, if you will, rolled out last October, and it's really something that I encourage you to think about, because hopefully some of you in this room will be captured by that project, and people looking back can see the dynamics that actually create what is the scene of American art, because the interconnections, the relationships, the things that are evanescent, somehow getting evidence of that is crucial to really understanding what happens and how it happens. And finally, I'd like to leave you with something, which is I often think of myself sort of in common parlance, if you will. Just let me check my time. Oops. As the ultimate bourgeois. And what I have discovered is that I am actually a revolutionary. And every one of you in this room is a revolutionary. And why? Because you are not seeing what is put in front of you and accepting something that is an official aesthetic. You are looking. You are asking. You are exploring beyond boundaries. And our ultimate ambition is to reshape the American art scene. We've been a feature of the Spring American Art Week since 1996. And you could view us on the one hand as the last man standing, but on the other hand, you could see us as working to kindle with our colleagues, for example, at Heritage, the O'Brien Art Foundation, everyone whose scholarship is so important, working to rekindle a new fire and approach to American art as the country's sesquicentennial approaches, which is next year. 2026 is the 250th anniversary. You may remember, for example, the Met's flagship Rubin Lecture Series. That has died away. But as Elaine Stritch said in her last show, I'm still here. And we are. IAC's American Art Conference works to inspire new generations with an interest in the field, be it for scholarship, individual and institutional collecting, and even the market. because you have to understand the interplay of all of these factors, and they all must thrive in order for us to have a thriving, dynamic American art world. By fostering connections across time and media, and by encouraging all to explore once again meaning and the power of the art of this country. In these challenging times, the key to the future lies in connecting our present with our past to forge the future. This was the case at the time of the bicentennial, a period during which the market and interest in American art swelled. 50 years later, American art is still known for its expressions, and more than ever, we need to relearn the lessons of some of our greatest American artists, whether it's respect for the land, whether it's exploration of new media, whether it's working in parts of the country that we don't expect, whether it's identities that we frankly never thought of as being that of an artist. This is not a politically driven agenda. This is trying to understand truth. What is? What was? So whether it's about respect for the land and environment, new forms and fresh marriages of media, the expansion of the canon to include present and compelling new voices, it's for us to show how the history of American art, which we write every day, holds the future of the field and the DNA of a culture of freedom of expression, diversity of subject matter and perspective, as well as a receptivity to cross-disciplinary approaches. We thank Heritage for hosting this ongoing dialogue, and we are thrilled to be here and to say good morning. Thank you. So, we begin. And it is my enormous pleasure to introduce Marie Di Filippo Antonio. She is the director of the Julian Levy Foundation, and she is a co-author of this extraordinary catalog raisonné that I referred to previously. And Julian Levy is somebody I remember my father being intrigued with. I have his copy of Julian Levy's book. And so it's an absolute thrill to introduce her. She's going to speak about Julian Levy, life, legacy, and the women artists he championed. Thank you all very much.